So have you ever noticed that when you start the day out on the right foot, you end up having a fabulous rest of the day? This is exactly why I love starting my day with a healthy, delicious, nutritious, high-protein breakfast. It just sets the tone for the day, and I am definitely a breakfast girl, so today I'm sharing 3 of my favorites. Now, in case we have not met, I'm Danny Spies, and welcome to Clean and Delicious, where we make healthy eating easy. Before I jump in, I just want to thank our amazing sponsor, Element. Element is a delicious electrolyte drink mix that was specifically designed for people who want to take a less processed, more whole food approach to healthy eating. It contains a science-based balance of sodium, magnesium, and potassium that can help you to balance the electrolyte levels in your body, and I'm going to share more on them in just a bit. So the first recipe I'm making are my egg white and vegetable breakfast muffins. You could of course make these with whole eggs as well, but sometimes I prefer to do just the egg whites because you're going to end up with a lower fat, higher protein breakfast option. So it's just something you can switch up. Plus they have a bunch of veggies as well, so you're going to get a little bit of fiber in there. So I'll start by coating a 12-cup muffin pan with a bit of cooking spray and by preheating my oven to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Now this is a little bit lower than I would usually make an egg muffin, but I find with the egg whites, when you cook them slowly, they remain tender and they don't get tough and rubbery. Then I'm going to chop my veggies. So I'm using 1 cup of chopped up baby spinach and then a half a cup each of diced tomatoes and diced bell peppers. You could use any color bell pepper that you have on hand. I'll pop those into a bowl and then gently toss them all together. And keep in mind that these are super versatile muffins. So you can really use any type of veggie that you have on hand. So this is a good time to look in the bottom of your veggie drawer. Ultimately, you're looking for 2 cups of prepped veggies to make 12 muffins. So from here, I'm just going to do my best to evenly divide the veggie mixture amongst all 12 muffin cups. You just want to get them as even as you can. Then the next step happens right in the blender. I'm going to add 2 cups of egg whites into my blender, and I do recommend that you buy the pre-separated egg whites at the grocery store. It's just a lot more convenient when you're making a recipe that calls for so many egg whites. If you were going to do whole eggs, then you would go with just a dozen whole eggs, or you could go half and half, do 1 cup of egg whites and 6 whole eggs. Then into the blender, I'm adding a half a cup of cottage cheese, which is going to add a little more body and give these a great texture. Plus, we're going to get an extra boost of protein. And then I'm just going to season this with some sea salt, black pepper, and garlic powder. That is the go-to trio when you want some flavor, but you want to keep it really easy. Then I'm going to pop on the lid, blend that up till it's all well incorporated. It's just going to take 10-20 seconds. And then again, I'm going to do my best to evenly divide this egg white mixture amongst all 12 muffin cups. So you're just pouring it right over the veggies. And I have to tell you, every time I make this recipe with the egg whites, this really comes out to be like a perfect pour. So it should all fit rather nicely into your muffin cups. Then I'm just going to pop them in the oven and let them bake for 25 minutes or until they have set through. You'll see once they come out, they'll have puffed up a bit, and then as they cool, they'll settle back down. And once they've cooled for about 15-20 minutes, I like to transfer them into an airtight container where they will happily last in the fridge for up to 5 days. They're really kind of fun. They're like a little grab-and-go egg white and veggie muffin, and each egg muffin packs in 6 grams of protein and 1 gram of fiber. Okay, moving right along, we've got healthy breakfast idea number 2. This is another protein-packed 2-minute meal. And I have to tell you, this one is so quick and easy, I don't even know if I can call it a recipe. This is a strawberry protein shake. I've been making this one for years, but I don't think I've ever shared it here on the channel. And what I love about it is that it requires only 3 ingredients and it literally tastes like a milkshake. So I'm going to start by adding 1 cup of milk to the blender. Now I'm using almond milk. I'm a big fan of this brand Malk, M-A-L-K, and that's because, first of all, it's got great quality ingredients, but I love that it has 3 grams of fiber per serving. That is not something you often find when you're using almond milk. And something I notice is that when people are trying to eat more protein, they tend to slack on the fiber, but we want to really load those plates up with protein and fiber. So this is a great option. Then into the blender, I'm adding 1 cup of frozen strawberries. Now make sure that you're using frozen berries because this is what's going to make the smoothie cold and like really creamy. So you don't want to do fresh berries here. And then the last ingredient I'm adding is 1 scoop of protein powder. Now I am going to tell you that I always advocate for whole foods first, but I do think that protein powder can be a fantastic supplement to any diet, especially when you are trying to add more protein to your diet. It's just very convenient and it's very delicious. There's a lot of different things you can do with it, like making a quick and easy smoothie like the one I'm making here. Now, I personally love a whey protein. I like the taste and I like the texture, but you could do a plant-based protein, you could do a beef isolate, and I will of course link to some of my favorites down in the description box below. Then we're just gonna pop on the lid and let this blend till it's nice and thick and creamy. And I like to let it go like a minute or so because then it also gets a bit of air in there and it gets really light and fluffy as well. Quick side note, if you wanted to, you could easily add a handful of greens to this smoothie, but for the sake of this video, we're keeping it to 3 ingredients. This creamy strawberry protein smoothie delivers 34 grams of protein and 6 grams of fiber. And again, I'm telling you, it tastes like a strawberry milkshake. So simple and so delicious. Okay, 2 down and 1 delicious healthy breakfast recipe to go. And I'm gonna tell you right now, this third one kind of tastes like you're eating dessert. But first, let me share a little bit more about one of my favorite sponsors, Element. Element is definitely my favorite electrolyte company and a product that I lean on to feel energized and to feel hydrated all throughout the day. A lot of people don't realize it, but common signs of electrolyte deficiencies include headaches, muscle cramps, fatigue, and sleeplessness. Personally, I just notice how I feel so much better when I am adding electrolytes into my diet, specifically on days when I'm working out. Plus, I love that Element has 0 sugars, no artificial flavors, and it comes in so many delicious flavors. They have watermelon, orange, raspberry, mango chili, grapefruit, citrus salt, chocolate, and unflavored. And right now, Element is offering everybody in the Clean and Delicious community a free 8 single serving packet with any purchase. This is a fantastic way to try out all 8 flavors, and you can get yours at drinkelement.com/Danny Spies. Now, remember, you do have to use my link, so I'm gonna leave it for you down in the description box below, but that's drinklmnt.com/Danny Spies. And keep in mind that Element offers a no questions asked money back guarantee on all orders. So if you're like a little bit curious, but you're not sure, you really have nothing to lose. Okay, so let's dive into our third and final healthy, delicious breakfast option. This one is a triple chocolate high protein overnight oats recipe. And this one is going to deliver 27 grams of protein and 6 grams of fiber. And truly, it tastes like dessert. So I'm going to show you how to make a single serving, but you can of course easily scale this up if you wanted to make multiple jars. So into a 16-ounce mason jar, and I love this jar, I will link it for you below, I'm going to combine a 1/2 cup of good old-fashioned rolled oats, and then into the jar I'm adding a 1/4 cup of plain Greek yogurt, which has a nice extra kick of protein and is thick and creamy. Then we're going to add a teaspoon of chia seeds, so this helps to thicken things up as well, and a tablespoon of maple syrup. Now if you wanted to cut back on the sugars, you could sub the maple syrup for some stevia or for some monk fruit as well. Then I've got a hearty pinch of cinnamon, because I like a lot of cinnamon, and a 1/2 cup of milk. Now I'm using an unsweetened almond milk, but you could use a cow's milk or really any type of milk you love or have on hand. They all work in this recipe. So as always, use what you have, use what you love. Next, it's time for the chocolatey goodness. So you can do anywhere between 1/2 and 1 full scoop of protein powder. I'm using a chocolate protein powder here, along with a tablespoon of cocoa powder and 1 tablespoon of cacao nibs, which are not sweet, so they don't add any sugar, but they're rich and they add the best little crunchy texture. So I'm gonna mix this all together, get it well incorporated, and then I'm gonna pop on the lid and leave this in the fridge overnight or for a minimum of 3 to 4 hours. You're gonna see that when it's ready, it's so rich and creamy, and I love to just scoop it out into another cup or into a bowl, and then I top it with an extra dollop of Greek yogurt and some extra cacao nibs over the top. It is so good. I cannot wait for you to give this recipe a try. Thanks again to Element for sponsoring this video. Make sure to check them out down in the description box below. And if you want to see a video of a high protein eat in a day, you're gonna wanna check this video out next, because I'm gonna show you how I eat 140 grams of protein in a balanced whole food way. So make sure to check that out if you're interested. And as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you back here next time. Cheers.